Hello, my name is Paul Smith and I'm a well-known fashion designer around the world. And now I'm going to share my phenomenal story with you. It all started off in Beeston, Nottinghamshire. I was born there on July 5th, 1946. As a child, I loved cycling, and later on in my teens I wanted to be a professional racing cyclist. At the age of 15, I left school. However, my respected father hauled me off to a clothing warehouse. For the first 2 years, I absolutely hated working there. The only part I did enjoy was a cycle ride there and back home. I still enjoy cycling. However, one day I had a terrible cycle accident. I got run over by a car and broke numerous amount of bones. And from that day, my accident stopped me having hope of becoming a professional cyclist. That was a real shame, because with cycling it kept me as fit as a fiddle. As I was in hospital for a long 6 months recovering from my accident, I met some amazing people who were also in the design and clothing industry. Once I was allowed to be discharged, I met up with the guys from the design industry and we went to the pub that was famously known for art students. When we got there, we discussed things like where we worked, if we enjoyed our job and stuff like that. And once it came to me, I talked about my job and if I enjoyed it or not. And overall, I enjoyed the time I was working there, except the first 2 years. And from that, I thought, Paul, if you really want to be a designer, go for it. And that's what I did, and that's where my journey began. One of my friends in the group, Pauline Denya, my girlfriend at that time, now my wife, helped me pursue my dreams. Later on, after lots and lots of preparation and thinking, we both decided to open our first shop on 10 Biard Street, Nottingham in 1970. We had savings that we both included to the normal price, and with that our shop opened for business. The shop was quite a success. By 1976 I showed my first menswear collection in Paris under my first label, Paul Smith label. I gradually expanded the retail business, being the first fashion brand to open on Floral Street in London's Covent Garden, which was a huge success. I was ecstatic and lots of things were going through my head, like what to do next and where can this lead to. In 1979 my store really hit off, where my shop offered an eclectic combination of clothes and finds for men which reflect my own magpie personality. The international growth of my business began and most famously in Japan, where my British designs had been particularly popular. I also expanded into 3 adjacent stores on Floral Street. In 1998 I introduced and showed my first women's mainline collection at London's Fashion Week. That was a brilliant success. The women's collection still continues to the present day. Most recently, in the last 2 years, I have opened shops in Dubai, Bangalore, Leeds, Antwerp, Los Angeles and other shops in London, in addition to a new clothing warehouse building in Nottingham. I am still fully involved in the business, designing clothes, choosing fabrics, approving the shop locations and overseeing every development within the company. I have showrooms in London, Paris, Milan, New York and Tokyo. In 2007, I started working with a UK-based boutique cycle clothing retailer, Ralpha. I designed a range of cycling clothing in association with Ralpha, including a jersey to celebrate the rare start of the Tour de France in London, which was great. Since May 2008, I have also left time out to write a fashion blog for Vogue.co.uk. I hope this can promote my company and will give people more to think about when it comes to fashion. I have also provided suits for Manchester United football team in 2009. The team loved the uniform and I had a great time working with them as well. There are now 12 different collections. Paul Smith, my first label, Paul Smith Women's, PS by Paul Smith Jeans, Paul Smith London, R Newbold, which is in Japan only, Paul Smith Accessories, Paul Smith Shoes, Paul Smith Fragrances, Paul Smith Watches, Paul Smith Pens, Paul Smith Furnitures and Paul Smith Finds and Things. Through all the work I've done, I really appreciate what fate has done for me. When I opened and developed my business, I was so happy, like a child on Christmas Day, ecstatic and joyful. I would like to thank my dad, because if it wasn't for him, I would have never achieved this amount of progress. My stores have been a massive success, and it towers above me every time I see clothes and models down the runway. One other amazing achievement was receiving a Medal of Industry award from the Queen. That was a great honour to meet her and receive something so valuable and precious for her that I could keep forever and ever. I hope that later on in life, when I go, I will leave a legacy behind me so that other new designers can adapt from what I've created and create other masterpieces.